Michael Saylor, the CEO of MicroStrategies, has called Bitcoin an institutional grade store of value safe haven asset. He said it's been de-risked. Grayscale, a $26 billion largely crypto Bitcoin fund, has said the clients that are coming in now, regulation is not really on the table anymore. Whereas maybe 3 months ago, people were coming in, regulation was maybe their biggest question. Is this going to get regulated? Is something that's going to get impaired by the government? And now that question is largely off the table. All right, good morning, guys. So, all right, a lot of cool stuff to think about. I just wanted to, I guess, lay down like the expectations for the next few months and what I've kind of heard on the beat. So Bitcoin is a fairly mechanical asset, meaning that a lot of the people who analyze it, like the big names, this guy named Willy Woo and this other guy named Plan B, obviously that's a handle, a Twitter handle, they believe that they found that it's fairly predictable. Like it has certain patterns, and the data that they're able to pull on this product in terms of how it trades, how much money is moving through it, what positions people are taking, all this data they can pull. And what they have both agreed on, they completely work separately, is that we're in the early part of the bull run. Basically, every 4 years, Bitcoin enters into what's called a bull run. And it's triggered by the supply of coins entering the market, meaning from the miners. So these miners, they mine the coins by solving these math problems. They get awarded with a coin, and they usually dump that onto the market. And that has a downward effect on the price because the supply increases. Eventually, they won't be able to mine anymore, but we won't get there until like 2035. Every 4 years, what happens is the amount that they can mine cuts in half. So right now, I think it's 900 coins a day. In, I think, 2022, it's going to drop down to 450 coins a day, something like that. I haven't studied halving too much, but the supply entering the market drops, and this triggers this wave, this bull run wave. And so right now we're in the midst of this bull run, and they both agree that we're in the early part of the bull run. So we have about, I think, 6 to 9 months left in the bull run. They think it probably started somewhere around November, December of last year. And here's why they're saying this. There's essentially 3 parts to any bull run. And the first part is called the accumulation period, where large investors purchase coins and take them off the exchange. And so what they're doing now is they're tracking what the volume, the trend in the volume of coins on exchanges is. And right now that trend is pretty aggressively downwards. I think he said 250,000 coins has left the exchange in the last 3 months. I think I got that stat right. It's a huge amount of coins that are exiting the market. He's saying that this accumulation period is still going on. It's been happening since November, December, and it's one of the longest. Actually, no, he said it's been happening since March of last year, and it's one of the longest accumulation periods he's ever seen. Now, there's only been 2 bull runs, and so we don't have that much data, but this one is definitely different than the last ones. And the reason why this accumulation period is going so much longer, he thinks, is because of all the whales, people purchasing 1,000 Bitcoins or more, or who have 1,000 Bitcoins or more, basically institutions, like companies, like legacy entities, people who are storing up wealth for generations and generations. So think universities or high net worth individuals. There is a massive spike in the number of whales in the market. The second phase is going to be when retail, people like you and I, enter into the market. And you can tell when that happens when the inventory starts to increase or the slowing of the exiting of coins decreases. Because people like you and I, we tend to keep our coins right on the exchange. It's not worth it to go through the whole wallet thing and all that. Although you should get a wallet. And so they haven't really seen retail enter in yet. And that's why they're saying we're in the early stages of this bull market. The last phase of the bull market is when it hits the peak. You're going to see huge volatility as buyers exit the market. The price kind of rides its momentum, and you need buyers to support the price. So the number of buyers is almost like the PE ratio of a stock. Like if you have this huge price and the buyers start to exit, then you know you're headed for a crash, and that's why it just starts doing this. And so they're thinking that phase will happen somewhere around December, like November, December, maybe January, something like that. So anyways, these are the things that my friend Bill the Bitcoin, who is the massive expert, will be tracking, and that's the information that I'll be relaying to you, is the signals of when we're exiting the bull market and when you can maybe start selling your coins in order to rebuy at the bottom. So you sell at the top and then rebuy at the dip. I think that'll be one strategy that we'll do, and you're welcome to do that, or you're welcome to just hodl. Hodl is a slang term for holding your Bitcoin. I think that's the main thing that I wanted to, those are the main things that I wanted to cover. So we're still very early in this bull market. Have confidence in this. If you want to put in more money, I think it's not a terrible idea if you're building faith in this thing. And by the way, I think I'm pretty sure when Apple enters this market, you can bet that retail is going to pile in hard. That'll signal the second part of the bull run. That's my... what's the word? My armchair, my civilian interpretation of how this thing will work. Once Apple enters, it hits mainstream retail is going to pile. You're going to see the inventory of coins start to go up, or the exiting of coins start to slow down. So we're just waiting for Apple, dude. Apple in Miami. I'm telling you, that's where it's at. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, I peeked at the price. Someone showed me the price yesterday. I actually orange pilled the porter in my building. I was like, yo, man, have you bought Bitcoin? And so we started talking about Bitcoin, and then he looked at the price. And so anyways, let's take a look at this price. It's kind of hard to come up with things to do during the day if I'm not obsessing over Bitcoin. But I'm listening to all the podcasts. There's so much data. They call it on-chain analysis. There's so much data that I think we have a lot of visibility on the price movements. I mean, not maybe like the hour-to-hour movements. That's what my friend does. But we'll have an opportunity to see the bigger trends, and I think that's pretty important. And they're saying it may not even dip that much. I mean, all these institutional investors... they create a price floor because these are the guys, it's the smart money. In a way, it is a smart money. I mean, like, Bitcoin was pretty risky in 2013, incredibly risky in 2013. It was still pretty risky in 2017. Now, I mean, $30,000, $45,000, approaching $1 trillion in market cap, exceeding the Russian ruble, exceeding the Swiss franc. Tesla's in it. It's kind of been de-risked. Can regulation happen? I mean, if Apple piles in, if Miami piles in, Apple has $200 billion in cash. You think maybe they have some influence in the government? You think maybe $200 billion might sway some heads? So, okay, let's take a look. La 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 la. I feel like my friend would have told me if, or like, I would have heard it on Facebook or something if. Ooh. All right. Looks pretty good, guys. 47,738. Wow, that's really strong. That's a strong price. I actually rebought in at 45,000, or yeah, right around 45,000 last night. I bought in more, so that looks great. Wow. I'm not logged in to see the candles. Wow, that looks great. 47,007. I mean, it's just, guys, you don't know how significant this is. When Elon Musk bought, the price went fucking vertical. It did this. Like, someone wrote this trend line, this really bullish trend line. The trend line was here, and the actual movement was like this. He wasn't, it was like a bearish, like this trend line was bearish because it went, and it stayed there. There's been no pullback. Yeah, like guys, we are in for something very very fucking disturbing in a good way. Like this is going to overwhelm all of us. If you want to put money in, you would not be unwise.